Hey guys, it's Mathel here. Um, I am really tired, just about to go to sleep, but I figured I'd make this sort of guide and 1.2 type video for the Lightning Buzzsaw cast on crit spec first. I hope to cover everything you need to know about the spec currently and what might change or what you might need to know in 1.2. So to start with, the current passive tree, it's not going to look too different next patch at all. What will happen is this will be the new passive tree. This is 90 points, level 90, 93, whatever. 110 points, same as the other tree at the moment. You can start as one of three classes, as the other one, I do believe. So Shadow, Witch, Ranger. I'll probably be starting Witch. The benefit of starting Witch is that once you get to level 93 or whatever it is, the next few points you can put 16 spell damage, 16 spell damage, and if you so choose, you can go 10, 10, 10, 16. Those are pretty good points for the spell damage that we're doing. If you choose Shadow, you can not really get anything special at the start, but it doesn't really matter. And if you choose Ranger, you'll have to go through this one talent point, and you can also pick up 8 attack speed for one. So that's probably the second best option. Might even be the best option. It depends on what you'd want extra. Or if you choose to take that extra 8 attack speed instead of some other points. Otherwise, it's pretty similar still. The main differences are we're grabbing extra lightning damage and some extra elemental damage here and there. So in total, we'll be something like 70% more elemental damage than the current patch. So with 1.2, you'll have probably about 70% more elemental damage. So while Arc is getting a slight nerf, Ball Lightning is getting a buff. So Arc should probably still be the same in this spec because we're getting so much more elemental damage. But Ball Lightning should be significantly better. So with everything else being relatively similar, I do believe this spec should do better than it currently is doing. Which is an exciting thing, because it's doing pretty damn well at the moment. Otherwise, from the talent tree that I have posted here, or passive tree, I'll gain about 15% attack speed. I'll have a bit less mana regen. Not quite sure how that's going to affect my Arctic armor, uptime, and all that. There's 60% less life, but I think that should be roughly the same still with the current, as my current life, given the extra 4 life per level stuff changes. Yeah. The crit is funnily enough exactly the same. Excuse me one second. The crit we have is exactly the same, and the accuracy is slightly better. So yeah, that's I don't know. It all ends up being pretty much the same. So I will probably start off with Witch, and that will make my defensive life a little bit harder than if you start off as, say, a Ranger or a Shadow, because you're a lot closer to Ondars and quite a few other life nodes. Whereas the Witch, I'm going to start off, and I'm probably going to go up here. I'll grab that stuff. From here, I'm thinking I'm going to do that, and then there. Probably EB. And continue on. If I were the Ranger, I would start there, go up, grab that, probably go up and grab some of this stuff, and then go down and grab Ondars. Shadow, well, it's the same thing. Grab Ondars. And the way I plan to level is probably by spectral throwing, grab a Wrath Aura, grab some elemental nodes, some lightning damage nodes, etc. And pretty much as I'd level my buzzsaws, but mostly off of Wrath, potentially Anger if I come across it and if I have the capability to run both. But I think just Wrath, some crit, maybe a good dagger or a claw, and Spectral Throw should be able to push me through until I get a cast on crit gem, until I have high enough until I have enough critical strike chance to actually make use of cast on crit and make it good or worthwhile using. That should probably be, I'm guessing, around level 50, 60, maybe even 70. Not quite sure at this stage. So that's leveling, that's passives, and that is class taken care of. So, as for the gear that we currently roll, your bread and butter will be a dagger that is fast and that has good crit. So I think anything over 1.8 attack speed, anything over 8.5 crit should be kind of what you're aiming towards for an ender game dagger. Up until, that point, beggars can't be choosers. It's going to be pretty hard to find a dagger, I reckon. So, something with crit, spell damage and attack speed, no spell damage, attack speed, crit, it's all good stuff. That's what you'll be using for your weapon. For the shield, it really doesn't matter too much. I'm currently using a spell damage shield because I have the luxury of doing so. But I was using an evasion shield with some life and some resistances for a very long time. The bonus evasion is great. As far as this spirit shield goes, it gives you a bit of extra mana as well, which gives you more regen. But the main things are life, some resistances. That's what you want on a shield. And then you can pick whether you want an evasion ES, or a pure shield, ES shield. It's probably going to depend on what you find. So, do whatever you can. Helm. It's a pretty open slot. I picked up Starkonja's head because attack speed, some dex, some good evasion, some life. I wanted the extra life and a bit of crit. You can go with a rat's nest. You can go with a Alpha's Howl. You can go with Ereso's helm, Mercury. Oh, I can't even remember what the helmet is. Several unique helms. They're all pretty decent. They'll all get the job done. I went with this one because I wanted the life for the most part, while having a few offensive bonuses. But also, you can go with a rare helm that gives accuracy, some life, some resists. That'd be a pretty good choice too. Gloves. I think the best in this slot will be a pair of rares with good life, good accuracy, good attack speed. Resists are a bonus. Doesn't necessarily have to be on there. Otherwise, you could try some Malagaras. But, I don't know. I think the life, attack speed, and accuracy will be the best in this slot at the moment. Boots. They're pretty open slot. They don't have to be evasion. You don't have to have movement speed. What you want is some life, some resist. If you want ES boots for some more mana, some more regen, that's fine. It's probably going to be whatever you find in general. You don't need the movement speed because we do quite a lot of whirling around. I still like to run around, have the option to do so. So run speed's pretty nice, but it's more or less a luxury. But for pretty much for neck and rings you want a diamond ring, but everything else is pretty loose. You're going to need some life, and you want some mana regen, you want some accuracy. Resist are nice too. But those three are the staples. Life, accuracy, mana regen. Try and get those. Try and get at least two of those. In general, life and accuracy on two of the pieces is nice. I've mostly got regen. And some resists, you'll probably need to cover them in those pieces if possible. Belt. Well, I'm not sure how soon we'll be able to get these belts in the new league. This is the optimal belt in my opinion. But with the flask changes, I feel it might not be that crucial to have 1% lightning damage leached. It'll be more or less a luxury. I think with the flask changes, I'm probably going to run 2 life flasks. Probably even 2 seethings. Bubblings. The ones that do instant. Whatever they're called. And probably just be able to survive off of those. with the recharges one charge when you deal crit surgeons on most of my flasks, they're pretty much up all the time because everything's critting. There's lots of ball lightnings. There's lots of arcs. So I think I should be able to just cover my leech, my survivability with instant pots. A chest. I think the ideal one, for my money, is a Cloak of Defiance because it gives you a lot of mana, it gives you a lot of mana regen, it gives you a lot of ES. All of that really helps you run a high level Arctic armor. And that is the goal here for our defense. On top of the evasion. The evasion's great too. Mind over matter, that's also pretty freaking sweet. So I like to save a good chunk of mana, 700 in this case, and have high regen, and that pretty much adds quite a substantial boost to my life pool as well as Arctic armor. So I'm really quite tanky on this character. So that is the gear. It's more or less loose, I reckon, except for a dagger, crit attack speed, and a Cloak of Defiance. It's my optimal chest, so I think we'll be okay without it for a while, but you're going to want one. So, once you've done that, your gems. What do we got? An Arctic armor, this one's level 21. It's going to be pretty damn hard to get a fresh one of those, so don't worry too much about it. Just level up as you can use it, and as long as you can sustain it. Because it's pretty damn annoying running out of mana having to refresh all the time. I have Ellie weakness and crit weakness in at the moment. Probably only need one of them. I'm not quite sure what the new curses are going to be doing because they're all kind of nerfed. But more often than not, I'm using crit weakness because the crit strike on the spells is so low, and because I'm not quite at capped for ST crit either. So I feel that crit weakness grants a much larger benefit over LE weakness to me at the moment. So that's what I'm running. Shield, I have just a faster attacks, whirling blades. No need for a reduced mana, you know. But faster attacks and a quality whirling blade help you go really quick. That's pretty helpful. You're gonna need, or I definitely find useful, a cast on crit power charge on crit setup with GMP spectral throw. So that's how I play. I run around, I get my 6 stacks, and then I will attack with my cast on crits. And I have them set up differently so I know which one's going, just in case, but you know. Left click is the power charges, right click is the deeps. And you get used to it. It might feel weird at first, but you get used to it and you can keep up your power charges pretty damn solidly. Right, so, got that down. Boots I currently just have, I randomly rolled 4 blues, so it's just an accident. And I keep some of my, just offhand spells in them, for no reason. But ideally you want 4 reds, I reckon, with cast and damage taken, Enduring Cry, Mortal Call, increased duration. That'll help with some survivability, I imagine. You're going to want Reduced Mana, Purity of Lightning, Grace, and Clarity. That's the 3 I run. It might be a little harder to run them in the new patch or expansion, but we'll see and play it by ear. I definitely need Clarity, definitely want Grace. Because it is a large chunk of my defense, gives me quite a big boost to my evasion, and then makes Ondars especially great. Purity of Lightning, at the moment, I mean, it's just giving me 5 max res. But with worse gear, I imagine it'll help me cap my res. Plus, give me that extra max res for the Ellie Reflects. And such. Then we get onto the business, which is our main setup. For the main setup, we obviously won't be using 6 links for quite a while. So, in my opinion, this is how we'll be running, or you should be running. You don't have to. Spectral Throw, you don't have to level it. Doesn't really matter. Quality is good, extra attack speed, whatever. Cast on crit. Quality on that, it's a little bit helpful, whatever. Those are absolutely the staples. After that, I think Arc definitely needs to be used. And quality, not too big a deal on it. It's nice if you can get it, whatever if you can't. I would go with Lightning Pen after that. And basically you single target. It doesn't really matter too much. You'll still do quite a lot of deeps, still do quite some decent clearing. So this is how it looks, just like that. Single target, whatever. Still do quite some good damage. You can play around with it yourself. All Lightning's going to be buffed, and Arc's going to be nerfed in the patch, so you might find out that Ball Lightning should be your red winner. But this is how I started out. Just Arc, and it works pretty well. Now, as far as a 5th link goes, you can either choose to do a bit more extra single target, more or less single target, have Ball Lightning go on. It'll help you with bosses, help you with single target, and clear some packs a bit faster. That works pretty well too. Or you can instead, with your 5 link, go GMP. So then your single target isn't going to change at all really, but your AoE is going to be substantially boosted because you'll be hitting many targets at once, and every single target that gets crit is throwing out an extra arc. So you can, if you're hitting 5 targets at once, you're throwing out 5 potential arcs. The packs get cleared pretty damn quick, as you can see. But I'm not quite sure it matters enough, because just the single target arc seems to do plenty. So Ball Lightning might be more fun to use. You might want to use Arctic Breath, slap it in there, and then your single target's pretty nice again, boosted. But Ball Lightning seems like it'll be buffed enough that it's going to do some substantial DPS on its own for the next patch. So that's 5 links, 6 links, 4 links covered. It's really going to be up to you as you level, as you try out your links, and see what works best for you, what you think is working best, what you're enjoying. Play around with putting different combos in, different spells. Try and level an Arctic Breath, a Ball Lightning, and an Arc at the same time. You won't be using them too much while leveling. Maybe Arc, maybe Ball Lightning to shoot here and there, but you have no cast speed, so using them by yourself is really quite bad. That'll be that, as far as that goes. That. Right. So that pretty much covers it. I think the spec's gonna be pretty damn good still, as long as our mana regen isn't too screwed. And let's just kill the boss real quick. And that's with everything, as some of my videos have already demonstrated. Yeah, I think the spec should be pretty good as long as mana regen doesn't get too screwed over, and we can still run high level Arctic armor. But I think I'll be able to make the spec work one way or another, even if I have to change some things up. Because I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I'd like to make it work and play it for an entire league. Yeah. Let's finish off real quickly here. And that's as much as I can be screwed doing, because I'm tired, you're tired, everyone's tired. And we're starting in like 24 hours. A bit longer. But yeah, go hard. And go home. Stay home, go hard. Whatever. I think I covered everything. Bandits, that's the one thing I haven't covered. Oak for normal it's it's optional, it's up to you. If you'd rather the one passive point to get to everything else, is I think it's a toss-up. I don't think there's a clear winner in that situation anymore. Crow, get a attack speed from Creighton, and Merciless, get a power charge. Power charge is 50 crit, that's amazing, etc. Yeah, and that, I think, covers it all. One quick think, if I left anything out. Flasks, Surgeons, get some bleeding, remove, get some immunity. Curses. Gonna need some instant pots to probably cover up the life. I can't think of anything else that anyone needs to know. Go out there in the expansion, have fun, kick ass. I hope we all do some of that. And yeah, feel free to sub to my YouTube. I'll put out lots of videos throughout the future to do with specs and maps and fun stuff if I come across any. And yeah, thanks for watching.